Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. We're here on a beautiful Monday night in June. And first of all, I got to say happy birthday to my son, Zachary. He turned 19 years old yesterday. And unfortunately, I haven't seen him in a while, but hopefully he sees this. And happy birthday, Zach. Well, here we are tonight. We got a guest I've been trying to get for years. He doesn't do many interviews, but he's here to do an interview with us tonight. John Harwood used to be a state representative for a number of years in the state of Rhode Island. He also held probably the most powerful position, which I've always said, in the state of Rhode Island, the Speaker of the House. He held that position. Second longest speaker, I think, to my knowledge, ever in history of Rhode Island politics. John, how you doing?
Good, Bob. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Pleasure to be here.
You still look like you're ready to play hockey, and you do still play hockey.
I still do. I'm just getting older. Older and slower. But I still show up.
Now, I don't know how many people know this. That you're a pretty good hockey player, right?
I did better than most.
Yeah, first you were in the Mount. Let's start. You played for the Mount.
Played at Mount St. Charles in 1968, 69, 70.
How'd you do there?
I did real well.
How did the team do?
We won the league championship every year. We won the states 2 out of the 3 years. We won the New England and states my senior year.
Really?
Yeah, we had a great team. A lot of good players.
Now, who was the coach then?
A guy named Larry Kish, who was an All-American out of Providence College. And Larry worked all the way up from Mount St. Charles up to American Hockey League Coach of the Year and eventually coached in the National Hockey League with the Hartford Whalers.
Wow.
He was a talented guy, great coach, great man, and somebody who was very good to guys like myself and other guys. He was a player.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, he was a player.
Now, I know I interviewed the Belials years after. The coaches over there.
Yeah, Bill and
dynasty,
David.
I guess.
Yeah, oh no, Bill and David, great people, and done a remarkable job. Not a good job, a remarkable job. They came in after me. I got out of Mount St. Charles in '70, and they won the state championships with Larry Kish up to '72. From '72 to '76, it was a gap. Bill Belisle came in '76, '77.
And he won like 25 years,
25
right?
years straight.
25, 26 years, something like that?
Remarkable coach. David also a remarkable coach. More importantly, just nice people.
Right.
Nice people.
Now, all right. So where did John Howard go after college?
Well,
after high school.
After high school, I went from Mount St.
Was it
Charles.
Penn?
I went to the Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania, and I got out of the University of Penn in 1974, and then I was at camp with the New York Islanders and blew out my leg. And
What'd you do? What do you mean you blew
I just
your
blew
leg?
up my groin and my ligaments on my leg at a scrimmage at camp in Peterborough.
Well, that's the likes of Bob your stuff, huh?
Well, yeah. Except he skated much faster than me, and about 99% of human beings at that time. But I in fact got hurt, so I ended up getting a master's in business, and from there I went to Boston College Law School from 1976 to '78. And then I came back to Rhode Island and started practicing law with Dan McKinnon and Steve Fortunato, and the rest is history.
Right, yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
And I remember McKinnon in the days when he was on the school committee.
Yeah, Dan had a great career as he ended up being chairman of the school
What
committee.
an honorable guy. I mean, he actually put his own family in jail.
No,
does he talk about that?
He was principled, and he just felt, the law said you shouldn't strike, and
right.
That's the way he felt. And at the end of the day, that's the law. So,
Did
but
his
he's
family end up talking to them?
It heals with time.
Time heals all.
No, he had a lot of teachers, real nice people. My cousins.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
That's right. Dan's a relative, and but he's an honorable man, and he did what he believed.
He sure did.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
At least you knew where you stood.
Kind of like you though. You're the same guy. You're cut from the same cloth.
I would like to think so. I mean, I would tell people yes. I would tell people no. I'd rather have you disappointed than for not helping you than hating somebody for lying to you
and stabbing you in the back.
Yeah,
and I think that's the way you ran the speakership.
I think yes, I did. I told you yes, I told you no, and once I gave my word, I didn't give it easy. I would like to think, but once I gave it, I kept it.
And that's a dying art, isn't it?
I'm not even sure if it was or not, but it's certainly a lot different.
Well, you went to the Harry Curvin School of politics, right?
Harry Curvin, as you know, was speaker for 22 years, and from your area, where you live and I live, and Harry Speaker Curvin was a member of St. Raymond's Parish,
Which you were.
which I am, and you're right on the cusp.
On the cusp, St. Mary's.
So we're all from the same neighborhood, but Curvin was in the 40s and the 50s and left early, I think in the early 60s, become the chairman of the Board of Elections.
Oh, don't I know that?
And as you well know, and the world.
But I lost by 2 votes in a 3-man race and had to go before him, and I had evidence against. I had 7 laws violated by the 5th Ward Committee, and he proved every one of them. And he says, "All right, Mr. Venturini, what do you want? What do you want? You proved it. You proved it. I even sued one of the guys for slandering me, which is very difficult, as you know, as
absolutely.
an attorney.
Yeah, as a
and
public
won.
official. Yeah,
and I sued him for $100,000. I won. He didn't have a dime, but I won, and I got an apology, which meant nothing, but it meant something to me. The principles of it, and I lost by 2 votes. So Harry Curvin says, "Well, what do you want, Mr. Venturini? What do you expect us to do?" I says, "I want a new election. Is what I want." He took his cane, which he had that gimp. I don't know, he had a bad leg for years, I guess.
I think he had a handicap, yeah.
Yeah, he threw the cane on the desk, slammed it on the desk. "What do you think you're going to cost this state money? That's not happening."
Well, I'm sure that was predestined before you walked in.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind.
Because I'm sure if you were on Harry's team, you would have had two elections. But he was probably the most legendary speaker in the history of Rhode Island.
Well, I always say, not always say, but every once in a while it comes up, we talk, somehow it gets into politics, and I'll say that Harry Curvin, in my opinion, is the most powerful politician that in my generation, at the very least.
Oh, there's no question about it. And I've seen them all from, Governor Gary, he was a powerful governor, and Governor Chafee did it, had a lot of clout.
Former governor.
Yeah, former Governor Chafee.
John Chafee.
John Chafee, Dad, yeah. And back then you could wield more power because you didn't have, 152 cable channels, or the internet wasn't around, and cell phones weren't around, and the quality of the person you're serving with, they thought differently than they do today. So you had more cover. You could rely probably a little more on people's word than probably today. So back then you could wield a lot of power because they couldn't get at you as easy.
Right.
So it was fascinating to see how powerful those people were. And a lot, and not that it's any comparison, but you look around, even in organized crime, the old organized crime guys, with the exception of maybe John Gotti, wielded immense power.
Right.
And then all of a sudden with wiretaps and pen registers and those type of things, the mafioso or the politician or whoever it may be, you've got to make sure you follow the law. And you've got to make sure that you do it the right way, because there are too many people, that is, with big brothers watching you, and I think it's for the better.
Right.
My opinion.
Yeah. What do you think today? Now, if you were a speaker today, how do you? What do you think about this master lever idea? Getting rid of the master lever.
The master lever, the way I perceive that, and I've heard the arguments that it makes people vote one way. I think that, in my opinion, I think that's a little insulting to the voter. If I walk in,
it's true.
Well, it may be in some cases, but I think, for the person who walks in, I know who I want to vote for.
Right.
If I see a master lever and there's 5 people on the ballot, and I like all 5, I can do it individually, or I can do the master lever. Now, if I'm the exception to the rule, then so be it. Maybe the master lever doesn't accomplish what I think it does, and that is you can use it if you want, but you don't have to.
Exactly.
So if you're looking at Bob Venturini running for state rep and you like him better than Mary Sue or Joe Blow, I'm going to vote for you, and I don't need a master lever.
Well, that's called an educated voter. But how about, I'll give you, for instance, I was out campaigning last year when I was running for office, and I ran into this old Italian guy up in North Providence. Loved me, watches my show, didn't know my opponent, never heard of my opponent. I'm voting for you. I like the way you are. I like everything about you, all this stuff, right? And then I said to him that I'm running as an independent. You know what he said to me? He says, I've never not voted for a Democrat, straight Democrat in my life. The guy's 76 years old.
I acknowledge the old school, there's remnants of that type of philosophy. I know my mother, God rest her soul. I mean, she was straight Democrat and would use the master lever. And I think the old school is what we're talking about. Now, if the new school is thinking that way, then maybe it is time for the master lever to go, because I really would like everybody to walk in there and try to vote for the person and what he brings to the table rather than a party.
Right.
If that's a problem, and there's evidence to support that, then maybe it's time. The time has come. But I don't know if that's the case.
Well, wait a minute. I think the evidence is right in front of you. It's called Chafee.
Well,
Chafee's all of a sudden a Democrat now. Why did that happen?
well, obviously he made a decision politically.
He was a Republican.
Yes.
Then he was an independent.
Correct.
Now he's a Democrat. The only other guy that did that successfully was in Providence, Buddy Cianci.
Buddy Cianci, right. I'll say one thing. He's won as a Republican. He's
won
won as an
as an
independent.
independent.
So he's a lot smarter than you and I. You
Oh,
know?
no doubt about it.
You know, so I have, I have a lot of respect for somebody who thinks it out, because they don't ask you how, they ask you how many. Same as in hockey or baseball, you know, it's whatever it may be. And politics is no different. It's a unique sport. But it was not surprising to see what happened, because, you know, you cut it into three ways, and you mentioned the best, probably the Bobby Orr of three-way races, Buddy Cianci. He had it down to a science.
Yep. And by the way, people don't realize he just about won this first time out.
Oh, that's right.
And the only reason he won, if you remember, because I am a student of politics and a student of statistics, the only reason he won was, if you remember, Brown was good friends with Dorley originally.
That's correct. Frankie
and they
Brown.
broke up.
Yep. That's correct.
Right?
Yep. That's
and
correct.
they were so much infighting, they ran against each other, and you got this guy, this young lawyer, who was a prosecutor for the Attorney General's office at the time.
Yep.
And he cleaned up after the primary.
I agree. That was
He won by like 368 votes or something like that.
When Buddy first won, there was an intra-family fight amongst the Democrats, Joe Dorley, and when he came back, I remember when he ran against the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper, who were both Andrew and Aldo, and you had Fred Lippert, who were both friends of mine, who I like and respect immensely.
Right.
But he had three people in that race.
Always.
And he's the master when it comes to jockeying, because he's extremely bright. He's extremely hardworking.
No way.
And he loves the city, and he's charismatic, and I just think he has a lot to offer.
Yeah. There's two sides to Buddy Cianci.
That may be, but I know the good side. I know. I can tell you one thing.
I've seen both sides.
When he gave you his word, it meant something.
That's important, because that's true.
Because when he was mayor, I was speaker, and yes meant yes, no meant no, and he wouldn't give his word if he couldn't keep it. So I have the utmost respect, not only for Buddy, but for all those people who say yes and mean it.
Exactly.
Or say no.
Well, again, we're from the old school, and you say, and I've always told people that if I tell you something, it's happening, or I'm not going to tell you.
Well, you don't have to say it, but once you say it,
right,
you own it.
All right. Hey, who we got here? You know who this guy is? Dan Lilly. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Bob.
Who's the scat man with you? Who's the scat man?
That's my old friend Scat Man. Sure
Old
enough.
friend Scat Man.
Yep,
Now,
partner.
Now these guys play down. Have you ever been down East Greenwich, the hotel down East Greenwich?
I have not, no.
That is an amazing historical place. It's just too bad. They should do a hotel, what do they call that, bar rescue thing there? They should do the bar rescue there. Because the woman owns it, she's wonderful. She's an older woman, she runs it, and her daughter's had some difficult physical problems. But that's why I guess they don't have the money to do it. But you got to see this place. That place has got to be 150 years old or something like that. It's crazy.
Sure, yeah, it's a
and it's
landmark.
right in the center of town.
That's a beautiful town.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful, really historic.
The bar is a big oval. What does it seat? About 30 people at the bar? Huge bar.
Yeah, big old bar.
But they got a whole room off to the side, and there's nothing done with it. And they got a most beautiful kitchen, all stainless steel kitchen. They don't use that either.
Wow.
And I'm saying, and I know what it is. She's an older woman. She don't want the problems. Don't want the hassle. But if somebody went in there and opened that up, they could turn. And plus, it's a hotel upstairs. It's 2 or 3 floors above it.
And the town's a beautiful town to begin with.
East Greenwich is great. I lived there. I moved down there to put Zachary in the school system down there.
Yep, good move.
I lived there for 5 years.
Great move.
In fact, I'll tell you about that one in a minute. Give us a song there, Dan.
We'd love to. All right. This is called Who You Really Are. It's raining today. That don't mean I gotta run away. Drops on my window pane. One more reason for me to complain. But pick myself up from the ground. Maybe I'm reaching too far, but I want you to be who you really are. And I've known you for a while. We're so much alike, we walk the same mile. We got reasons to be down. We could change all that if we just knew how. And I'm trying to see through the clouds, trying to pick myself up from the ground. Maybe I'm reaching too far, but I want you to be who you really are. Yeah, 'cause I know there's a diamond in you somewhere. I know that your heart's made out of gold. Precious things meant to be discovered. Long lost secrets waiting to be told. Yeah, I'm trying to see through the clouds, try to pick myself up from the ground. Maybe I'm reaching too far, but I want you to be who you really are.
Nice job. Now, sometimes you play with four guys. And,
Yeah, one of the guys is in Spain this week, so you know.
oh, that's right. He went to Spain, not the restaurant either, right? No, he went to the real Spain, right?
Europe.
Oh, Europe, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you don't have to go to Europe to get abroad. Remember that. Did you know that, John?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, not that one.
We're with John Howard here. John, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about 38 Studios? You want to talk about gay marriage? You want to talk about gay adoption is what I like. Or you want to talk about legalized pot?
Whatever you want. You pick it.
Pick it? All right, legalized pot, since I just got it out there. What do you think of that? I don't mean, now I'm not talking about legalized medical marijuana. I'm talking about decriminalizing pot. You're an attorney.
Right.
Decriminalizing pot. What do you think effect that has on society?
I agree with the legalized for medical purposes.
I do too.
I have no use for marijuana for recreational use because, not that I really care what adults do with it, it doesn't bother me. What it does bother me, it sends an awful message that children, young adults, under 18, whatever it may be, that it's okay, it's fine to use, and it's not.
Right.
Period.
Fine to
End
get
of story.
high and not do your
Right.
schoolwork, not do your homework, not do anything.
Right, and there's studies that say that marijuana may lead to other type of drugs, and once again, you know, bad enough adults doing what they want, but they're adults. Children, I don't want any message that's going out to children, giving them the impression that we think marijuana is okay. I don't believe in it, and I never will.
And I agree with you, John, because I can understand somebody's sick. In fact, I'm a chronic pain sufferer myself. I've had 5 back operations.
Right.
In fact, I'm having trouble finding a doctor
Wow.
as we sit now
Right.
because my doctor
Right.
died. And I've tried marijuana once. I did when I was 21 on my 21st birthday. And I smoked a couple of joints. It didn't do anything.
Right.
So,
Well, and what may affect you and somebody else from a medical point of view, it makes no difference to me. If it's medically approved, it's medically approved.
Right.
and what may work for you may not work for someone else, and I leave that to the doctors.
But not a 12-year-old
No,
kid, a
absolutely not.
14-year-old girl or whatever like that.
Absolutely, positively not. And I just think it's a bad, bad message for it to be a civil violation, in my opinion.
Right.
Maybe
right.
I'm the old school, but that's the way.
You're one of us, the old school.
That's the way I think, and I'd rather have you out there playing sports and working hard in school.
Well, because nowadays, what you think about it, look at the kids today versus the kids 30 years ago. I mean, we're out playing baseball, we're out doing, playing hockey, street hockey, we're doing all kinds of stuff.
The world is changing, and I think that, I remember, Bob, you're around the same age where you'd go to Hope Street Park and you'd play baseball in the summertime from 8 in the morning to like 4, and you'd go home, have lunch in the meantime. But you could go out there. You didn't have the problem of your parents worrying about some predators out there.
Right.
Today, you've got to worry about it because there's a lot of people not stable.
But do you think it's any different today in reality, or just think that there's more attention brought to it?
No, I think in reality, I think when we all started closing down places for the mentally ill and people like that.
Definitely, absolutely,
and I think
absolutely.
When I think you started to bring people into the mainstreams, I really think it increased the problems of people, sick people, ill people, doing horrible criminal acts. And today you got to be careful with your children. Back in our day, you could send everybody out to play baseball at Hope Street Park.
Right, and we didn't have cell phones.
No, you didn't have cell phones. You come home at lunch and everybody hung together. And the same thing in the winter near the old Ryan Auditorium. You could play street hockey and go skate, but there wasn't a worry. Today it's a little different worry, so I understand the concern, but those were great days when you go out and just play ball. That's why you see better ball players in the Dominican Republic.
That's right, because they're doing what we did.
They're doing it every day. That's exactly right.
I can remember throwing a ball against the wall for hours.
Guaranteed. Yeah, playing street hockey.
Tennis ball, just whacking
hours,
them. Just to refine your skills a little bit.
The world has changed.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
But legalizing pot, I like I said, I have a real problem because of the children, and but for kids getting the impression that it's okay, I have no use for it. I really don't, and that's no disrespect for people who like to use it. If you, like I said, if you're an adult, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a big boy,
Yeah.
It's the use and.
Well, I'll tell you what I don't see anymore this past winter. I mean, I was out there shoveling my own yard. When I was a kid, there would be 30 kids coming down the street, including myself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Looking,
Everybody,
looking
extra
to make money.
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't find them.
No, you don't see that at all today. Really, very rare. You're right, Bob. The world is once again.
So they're home playing on their
computers
or playing texting or whatever the hell. That's going backwards as far as I'm concerned.
No, I agree. No, I don't disagree with you.
And what do you think about, in fact, just today, Matt Allen was talking about how with all the broken homes and with the gay adoption and all that stuff, all these kids are being feminized, I think was the term he used.
That's an interesting comment.
I thought it was. It was on the way here. I heard it, actually.
And I assume they're talking about adoptions and things of that nature. I don't have any empirical evidence that would indicate to me that is the case.
But no, I don't think he meant just gay adoption. I just think he meant where there's no male in the house. Well, whether it be because it was a gay adoption or because there was just a woman, there wasn't a man in the house.
Well, whatever that argument is, I don't know if there's data to back that up.
Right.
I do know that I've seen, including my mother, very strong woman. And when they said we're going north, we were going north. So I don't buy this gender gap that men are stronger than women.
Right.
Because, at the end of the day, most people, if they're honest with themselves, who would you want your children with? Your wife or you?
Right.
And you're both, let's say, good parents. I know where I'm going.
Right.
My wife would clearly be, in my mind, the superior person to have custody of my 4 children, and I think I'm a pretty good dad. Yes, I don't have the same ability.
Right.
So when you hear that, I'm not really sure. And then you get into men versus women adopting. I mean, I've seen heterosexual parents be rotten parents.
Screw up, of course.
I've seen gay parents be wonderful.
Right.
I've seen single dads be great parents.
Right.
Single moms. So I think it's really the parent, the person that I think of. Now, if they have data out there that they've done studies, so be it. But I think you've got to really work through that on a case-by-case basis. My
Right,
opinion.
right.
Because there's a lot of nice people out there
But
who
it's
do
better
the right things.
in the case, well, I think most of the thing was, I think really what they were talking about, gay adoption, but they were also, I think he was mostly talking about, or other people were talking about, only a mother in the household, the guy.
Well, there's the argument that the mother's out working hard and they don't really have someone to supervise. Well, that can be the same problem with the man. Let's say he's a widow, he's a single dad. He's trying to work and feed everybody too.
Right.
So, and little kids, little problems. Big kids, big problems. Yeah. And those problems.
Yeah, but
have been
I
around.
can see it on in fact, in my case, my son Zachary. When Zachary was younger, he lived with me.
I remember that, yeah.
Zachary was an A student in East Greenwich.
Yep.
An A student in East Greenwich. Never missed a day of school. I'm sorry. In two and a half years, he missed 5 days, but we were on trips and on his adventures, and I always got extra work for him, but he was never late in 2.5 years. He moves with his mother. The next 3 years, he's averaged 68 times late per year. And he's absent 49 times a year and never passed the course.
That's a big drop, and I don't want to. I'm not here in a family court dispute, so keep me out of that fight. I do not have a dog in that fight.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
All right.
But there's a case of one parent wanting one thing and the other parent wanting another thing.
Yeah, sometimes different lifestyles cause different problems. Sometimes it's the young boy or the young woman going through those ages where they're smarter than the mother. They're smarter than the dad.
That's right. If they want to be
happens.
with the one that gives them the least resistance or the least argument.
Well, that's true. Yeah, or they just get led by their peers. There's always a couple of sides of the story.
Exactly.
There's gaps.
All right, let's get off that Superman building.
Superman building. Oh my.
What do you think of that?
Well,
I worked in the 70s, by the way, in that building.
It's a great landmark for the city of Providence. I think it really, if they could jumpstart it, I think it's terrific for the city of Providence, but more importantly for the whole state of Rhode Island. I mean, when you see a building like that vacant, it gives a message to the business people.
It's a negative message.
It's a negative message, and it's a beautiful building. It does look like the building
The
where
Superman.
King Kong, the Superman building. And
But what about making into apartments?
well,
I don't get that.
I don't know. We have.
I don't know that works, first of all.
Well, we have, I think, and the officials from Providence or State would probably know better than I, since I haven't been involved in a while. I think they're having trouble selling the condominiums that
they
are
already
available.
have.
They already have, and I think they've had trouble occupying them.
Right.
So if you're going to make condominiums in the Superman building, so be it. But I would think if you're going to invest millions of dollars, you'd want to have some data that would back up your investment as to why you should go that direction.
Exactly.
And I don't know the answer to
and
that.
the other thing is, I worked in that building for several years in the 70s.
Yep.
Working in that building where you leave at 4 or 5 o'clock, parking there is horrendous. There's no parking garage
the
there.
whole city's tough,
Yeah.
like every city.
I know, but at least if you're building a new building, you put a parking garage underneath it or
That's
whatever.
true.
You don't have the parking there to accommodate
That's true.
families, to accommodate guests, to visit people in that building. That's why I don't think that works as apartments.
Well, you're right, and I think the ideal situation is to get another major corporation to come back in.
Right, Fleet or something.
But once again, you have to, you really have to, pony up with the tax benefits and, whether it be put in an enterprise zone where if you hire so many people into this building, you get all these tax credits.
Right.
I don't know the answer. I
think we're
leave it to
gun
the
shy
people.
now, though. Aren't we gun shy after 38 Studios about giving tax breaks and giving money? Because he's looking for money, I guess, this guy.
Well,
he's looking for guarantees.
38 Studios was an anomaly, and I don't want to put blame on anybody because I don't know all the facts, but I know one thing: it clearly was something that got messed up pretty well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are against it, so they may have known something I didn't know. But you can never ever be gun shy, and that may be the lesson of what you shouldn't do. But you can never be gun shy when it comes to economic development in the state when it makes sense.
Right.
And because you failed on 38 Studios,
Right.
Well, how about when you were successful with Fidelity? How about when you were successful with Amgen?
And the
How
airport.
about for the airport? How about when you were successful giving tax credit for the mall?
Yeah, I know,
You
but
know?
in none of those cases are you putting all your eggs in one basket, which is what they did in 38
Well,
Studios.
and I agree with you. And what I'm saying is that should be really the calling card as to what you shouldn't do. But you're saying, are we gun shy? I don't think we should ever be gun shy. I think you should probably learn from the mistake.
Right.
Because there's clearly, at least on the surface, mistakes. But don't back off and say, hey, look, this was a colossal mess. All right, people were being cute, or they just didn't see the picture.
Right.
Whatever it may be. Let's get some people who are really experts in this area, work out a great deal to bring these people into the state and make it a great deal for them to stay, and also hire our people. I think that's the way to go.
All right. Now, some people, including the illustrious Buddy Cianci, thinks that we shouldn't pay that loan guarantee, that we should send it to the insurance company. By the way, why do you have insurance if you don't use it?
Well, that's a strong argument, because I pray to God my house doesn't burn down.
Right.
But if it does, I have
You
insurance.
want the insurance to take care of it.
I want the insurance to pay it. But so I understand what Buddy's saying. I don't know the effect on Wall Street of the full
Of
faith
not paying.
of not paying in the full faith and credit of the moral obligation. I don't know what message that sends from Wall Street to other people who want to come here. I don't know the answer to that. And if I knew the answer to that, I could probably tell you, have the insurance company pay or take it on the chin, because in the long run, we'll have no shot of other corporations coming in here.
Right.
If that's the case, then you make a business decision. But when you have insurance, that's what you have insurance for. Thank God.
Last but not least, John.
Yes.
I got to tell you this, and folks, I got to tell you this. I actually I known you how many years?
Oh, good. A good 55. 50.
50 years.
I'm 61. You've known me since I'm 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. We grew up in the same
neighborhood,
area, same neighborhood.
Yep.
I saw you in action for a whole week. We don't have to really get into details, but I saw you in action for the whole week. And I, who idolize F. Lee Bailey and some of the great attorneys and the Clarence Darrells and the great attorneys in my time and before my time, because I wanted to be a lawyer. And when I went to Roger Williams College and graduated in '71, my plan was to go to Boston University Law School.
Great law school.
But I ended up, made the fatal mistake of taking my wife with me to Boston to go get the application in the 1970 year before. Sure. And she saw all these beautiful women going to school. She said, "You're not going to school here."
Won't be a fair fight.
Yeah.
I understand.
And by the way, they didn't. Roger Williams, where my alma mater, didn't have a law school.
Oh, not
back
that.
then.
That's right. That's a recent.
So I ended
vintage.
I ended up putting off law school, and it ended up not happening. But seeing you in action, I was impressed.
Well, thank you very much. We try to work hard. Sometimes how well you do is based truly on the facts and probably your strategy. But how you work I don't know if you call it worked. How you related to the jury was very, very poignant and well done. Well, thank you. I've got a lot of experience in my household with 4 women and 2 daughters and my son. So I got to relate well. Usually the speaker of my house, my lovely wife, gives me her opinion.
Patty.
So that may be an offshoot of living home with a great family, But thank you for your compliments. I appreciate it.
All right, but last but not least, today the Supreme Court came out with a decision on DNA.
Yeah, I heard that.
Was that a Maryland case?
It's a Maryland case, interesting case, where they said
5 to 4.
5 to 4. You do not. It's the same case. You do not need a warrant to take someone's DNA.
But they have to be arrested. It's like when you arrest somebody and you take their fingerprints, now you can take their DNA.
It's incident to arrest.
Right.
You must have probable cause to still arrest somebody.
Right.
You can't pull someone over and say, let me take your DNA. No.
Right.
You got to have incident to arrest. They indicated today that the DNA is similar to fingerprints.
Right.
Except it's more accurate, and it really helps law enforcement know who you are. By matching up to the national,
the register.
Registries and banks.
I think that case was about a guy was arrested in 2009 on a burglary charge or something like that.
I think you're right.
Or was recently arrested on a burglary charge, and they brought back in 2009 a rape charge as a result of taking his DNA for the burglary charge or assault charge or something like that. It was a much more minor charge that he got nailed for, but they took his DNA and they matched it with the database, and they found he was the guy that raped somebody several years ago.
And the court said to take a swab of someone's DNA is so minimally intrusive.
Right. It's not like they got to get a blood sample.
Well, just recently, in the last 30 days, 60 days, they did say to take your blood, you do need a warrant.
Well, I can see that, though.
Yeah,
That's
right.
intrusion.
That's intrusion, right.
'Cause I hate needles,
No,
first
you're
of all. I
exactly
don't want a
right.
needle.
But to put a swab in your mouth.
Right.
2 seconds,
Yeah.
fingerprint you.
They use a Q-tip and
Exactly.
just run it in your
Now,
mouth, get saliva.
This is much more accurate than the fingerprint, so hang on.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, and it's probably less time.
Now, the strange part, I guess this is my last question for you. The strange part is, now that the federal court, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that way, does that mean that we have to, every state, because I think there's 21 states that abide, or 26 states that abide by that already, that allow DNA to be taken. Now, do the state courts have to implement a law?
No, the United States Supreme Court has said that any decision they have when they interpret the Constitution, all states have to give you at least what they give you, certain protections on the Fourth Amendment. The federal government says, by way of example, you don't have to get a warrant to do a swab.
Right.
The Rhode Island Constitution can give you greater protection if it wants.
Right.
So,
But what if they don't have a law at all? Does that mean each police department can decide if and when?
Well, you do it at your own risk. You know, they may say, you let's say the U.S. Supreme Court says, I want to take, you can do it. So you take the guy's swab and you raise a motion to suppress based on state constitutional grounds.
Right.
And the police officer says, well, the federal government said I could do it. You may get by on a good faith exception, but the court in that case may say, yeah, all right, we're going to give you a pass because that was the existing law when you did this test without a warrant. However, from here on in, the next guy who gets caught, it may not be you, unfortunately, under our Constitution, we're going to require you to get a warrant.
Right.
They may not.
Right.
You don't have roadblocks here in this state for drunk driving. You have them, they're legal in other states. In this state, no, you must have probable cause to stop someone. That came not from the U.S. Constitution, that came from the Rhode Island Constitution, where our Supreme Court said, we're going to give you greater privacy rights under the Rhode Island Constitution. That's why you don't see roadblocks for DWIs.
Right, yeah, what you see in Maryland.
Oh, you see them all over.
Yeah.
Oh, they stop you, and you better have a good reason. You look happy.
Well, thank you,
Bob,
John.
real pleasure.
Great to see you. Great to have you by.
I don't do this often, but
I know you don't. I'm amazed that you agreed.
You're the exception to the rule.
Yeah, I
You've
just
been a
asked you
friend.
the other day. I was shocked that you even agreed.
You've been a good friend for over 50 years, and I'm glad I could be part of your show.
I appreciate it. I'm sure
Thank
people
you,
are going to
Bob.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hang on a second. We're going to get a song here from my boy Dan and the Scatman, not the Scatman, just Scatman, right? Scatman. All right, give us a song, and we'll be right back with our next guest. Good old Frankie's over there. We got Frank ready?
You're afraid to tell me what you're really thinking of, and I don't want to tell you how I feel. Round and round we go, like a ship out of control, with no captain at the wheel. No captain at the wheel. No, no. Wide awake at 3 a.m. listening to you breathe, wondering what you're seeing in your dreams, hoping that the day ahead will take care of itself, with no captain at the wheel. I said no captain at the wheel. No, no. Yeah, God's in his heaven, may look down on us here, shed a little of his grace. We're living on a planet we got no idea of how to run this race. hanging on a string with no captain at the wheel. I said no captain at the wheel. No, no. Yeah, if God's in his heaven, may look down on us here. Shed a little of his grace. We're living on a planet we got no idea of how to run this race. Yeah, you're afraid to tell me what you're really thinking of, and I don't want to tell you how I feel. Round and round we go, like a ship out of control, with no captain at the wheel. I say no captain at the wheel. Yeah, there's no captain at the wheel. Oh, no captain at the wheel. No, no.
Oh! Dan Lillian and Scatman. I keep saying the Scatman. Scatman. Dan Lillian and Scatman. I can see you. Where are you going to be? You got any places you're going to be?
This weekend we'll be at Lucky's in East Providence on Saturday night.
What's the name of it?
Lucky's, you know, Lucky's.
Oh, I know where
Yeah,
Lucky's
it's like
is. I've been there. Actually, I've tried to get them on the show. You talk to them because I want to get them on the show. I've
talk to
invited
Billy.
them on the show
All
before.
right, I will.
I go there. I've been there a couple times with Joe Rocco.
It's good food. Everything about the place is
Yeah, yeah. In fact, Joe Rocco's coming on the show pretty soon. We got to promote or talk about, I should say, the comedy series down in Newport. He runs the Newport Comedy Series. I think it's in its 11th year, believe it or not. Hey, who's this Frank? Frank how do you say it? How do you pronounce it?
Galasso.
Gal- Galasso. I knew I would have messed that up. Frank or Frankie? I know you written Frankie too.
Frankie.
Frankie Galasso.
You wouldn't want the full name.
No, yeah, I know it. I know. Go ahead, tell me. Go ahead.
Francesco.
Oh, Francesco.
That's right.
Well, that's what doesn't Frank Caprio? Isn't that his real name, Francesco?
Probably.
I think it is. Anyway, you're an artist,
Yeah, but
huh?
still an artist. It's my third appearance, Bob.
I know.
So is
I
that,
know.
am I getting close to the record?
You are getting close to the record, other than the TV personalities, but for people other than
I got to beat my buddy Gene.
oh, you'll never beat Gene Belicenti. He holds. Nobody's got. The only one close to him is Tony Petrarca.
Tony, go to church with Tony.
Yes.
I'm not close to him either.
No, you're working on it.
All right, forget it. All
Hey,
right.
what do we got now? Now, do you paint this? Do you draw this? What do you do?
Sure. It's watercolor mostly.
Is it?
Yeah, I use watercolors and then I do a lot of mixed media.
You hand do this stuff?
Oh yeah, all from scratch. Yep, pencils, pens, mostly watercolor.
All right, now wait. This is Rhode Island lighthouses, right?
It's summer. It's a good. It's a good time to bring this up.
It is a great time. And by the way, I've been to most of these lighthouses, if not all of them, by the way.
Really?
Because that's one thing, another adventure I've done. I went to all the lighthouses in Rhode Island. And then there's 20, I think there's 26 lighthouses in Rhode Island.
I'm operating. I'm not sure. Maybe there's 12 or 14 operating. Not even.
Oh, yeah, but I think there's a total of 26 lighthouses in Rhode Island. Do you know what state has the most lighthouses?
I want to say Maine.
I am a creature of useless facts. There are, I believe, and I'm 90% sure that I'm correct, Michigan has the most lighthouses.
Oh, that's right.
How do you like that?
Well,
An
this
interior
surprised me.
state has the most lighthouses. Yes, Michigan. I've been to a number of them. Now, who we got here? This is, I fished over there, Point Judith
Point
Lighthouse.
Judith.
And what do you got? That's on Block
This is
Island.
Block Island.
Is East Providence?
No, this is
Where is
Rose
that?
Island in Newport.
Oh, Newport, okay.
Yep. Of course, Beaver Tail.
Almost stayed there. Beaver Tail,
It's
nice.
a very important one, by the way. This is navigation-wise.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the most
Well, there's
popular.
a whole bunch
visitor.
of rocks there. Good fishing over
well,
there.
I
It's a
guess
tod fishing
because
right
where it
there.
is.
Right at the point.
Of course, this is on a license plate, so Plum Beach is very popular as well. So
Yep.
these are the two most popular.
Okay.
This is in Newport as well.
Yep.
And then you've got
Castle Hill, yep.
You got the two Warwick
Connecticut and
lights.
Warwick, and then the Warwick light.
And there'll be another one later with the rest of them.
Yeah.
This is when he gets to get things going.
Now, how long did it take you to draw this right here?
Well,
I know, is that a drawing or a painting?
painting, watercolor paint.
Watercolor painting.
Weeks, months, depends. This one wasn't too bad.
I'm not talking about the whole thing. I'm talking about this just.
Oh, it could be about a day or two's work. Sure.
Wow. Now, where'd you learn
And I
this?
do all
I
the
hate
captions
people with
too.
talent like
'Cause
you.
don't forget, I started in the news business, and people ask me who writes the captions for you. I write my own. I do my own research.
Right.
I write my own captions, so everything. That's what makes me a little bit different than the average artist.
Artist or the caricaturist.
That as well. Yeah, we can
Now,
get to that.
when did you start? You said you started.
My 20. Gonna give my age here. My 24th year.
Wow.
Yep, 24th year in the news biz.
Now, what did you start in? Where?
I started with the newspapers. I was with the Pawtucket Times, the Kent County Times, and then I finally got with the Journal in the 90s, and then I got the 36 newspapers after that.
Wow. Do you know that my caricature, Bob's caricature?
Yeah, what was, yeah.
The guy, what the heck is his name? The poor guy, the guy's deceased now. 22 years ago, he did my caricature. He worked for the Boston Herald and the Boston Globe, this guy that did that caricature. And he died
Bob Coyne? No.
several years ago, French guy.
Oh.
He lived in North Smithfield, French name. Oh God, I'm embarrassed to say, and I will have the name the next time I'm on the show because it was amazing. I mean, beautiful. He did a great job with my caricature. All right, here we got the City of Warwick. Now,
City of Warwick.
These are some of the.
And you saw me last year when I was doing this last summer.
Exactly, exactly.
And next one is where we were hanging out last
East
summer. East Greenwich is coming up.
I love that
So
town.
for all our businesses out in East Greenwich right now, if you're viewing this, we'll be doing one on East Greenwich, so you might want to give me a call.
And East Greenwich has a lot of businesses.
A lot of history, especially with this fellow, too. Our old friend Nathaniel Green.
Nathaniel Green.
How many-
Oh, don't pull that off yet.
Okay.
Don't pull that off. Come on,
Want
we
to
got
take a
some
little
beautiful
peek
facts here. Yeah, come on. Oh, of course. Rocky Point.
Yeah, people like a little nostalgia thrown in.
Right,
That's always
right.
it. Let's start with Clouds Hill Mansion, which a lot of people don't even realize is there.
Right.
The Slaters built that back in the 1800s.
The Slaters.
Family, yes.
Oh,
Slater
really?
family. Oh, yeah. It was a wedding present.
Oh, Warwick Ice Cream.
The Bucci
Right on
family.
Route 2. Yeah, that's
Yep.
still in existence.
Great people, the Bucci family. Let's switch over. We have Ironworks, which is quite a newer place, but the building is
Right,
very
the building's
historic.
been there for years.
That's right.
That's over off of on Jefferson Boulevard, right in the corner of Jefferson and
Yeah.
I can't think of the name. It begins with a K. I
Kilvert.
think.
Well, it's Kilvert Crossing. The old Kilvert
See,
Crossing.
begins with a K, isn't it? All right, what else we got here? Now, do you have the
Wouldn't be complete without Iggy's.
Iggy's? Of course, there it is, right there.
We have
The airport. What
C&L
else?
Stables, which is a really, really nice.
What Staples is
You're
it?
not afraid to ride a horse. C&L Stables, I got it.
I love. Oh, I go there.
You do?
I love riding horses. We did a show there, Corey. Remember? You didn't go? Oh, Ryan did. Ryan did. Yes. Yeah, we went to the stables, and they want us to go back again.
It's a great
We
time.
will go back again. What else we
And
got?
all your standards. Remington House, of course, and Morris Farms. It's been there since like 1914.
Wow.
Yeah, great places.
By the way, the Remington House,
Mm-hmm.
they take credit for it, the people that own it now, but the fact of the matter is my attorney is the one that rebuilt that whole thing. And then he sold it to the people that own the Remington House now. So go ahead. What else
Oh,
we
let's
got?
you have Gatsby thrown in because it wouldn't be complete without.
Then you got cellos, of course.
And what is Gatsby? The oldest.
The first.
The first act of aggression.
The first act of
Was in
aggression
Lexington,
against
people.
the British. It was done, what,
Good
8 or
old
10
Rhode
months?
Island.
That's right. We don't get the credit
We
for
started it.
We started it before.
First to succeed, last to sign. All
That's right. That's right. First to succeed from the British, but the last to sign the Declaration of
that's right.
Independence. Lasted the 13 colonies.
Would be Rhode Island without doing that. Okay. And speaking of
Before
Rhode
you get into it, the Gaspee Point or Gaspee battle, where they burnt the ship, the Gaspee. It was an English ship. They burnt. What they did was they conned it in or suckered it into the cove, and the cove. Their boats drafted deeper than our boats, and they had they suckered the British to chase them in the cove. And they
ran him aground.
They ran him aground. After they ran him aground, they went to some bar room over at Gaspee Point, had a few, and then they decided to burn the thing. But that was about 6 or 8 months before the Boston Tea Party.
Oh, yeah.
So you're right. It was the first act of aggression against All right, here we are again. This is the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah, this is my baby.
One of 4
And
unsupported domes in the world.
Third largest, that's right.
Yep.
Third largest or fourth? Third.
It was 4. There was only 4 of them in the world, unsupported domes.
Of course, all your favorites. Dell's Lemonade, the Hot Weenies from New York System,
Yep.
and all our friends. We have Soggies, Aunt Carrie's, Haven Brothers, and on
Yep.
and on and on. Benny's.
Now, what is this right here?
That's the old auditorium. I have to throw that nostalgia in.
Yeah, right near my house. I used to go there every Friday night to watch the Reds play
yeah.
and Sunday, Friday and Sunday. An old friend of mine
just-
had tickets to it.
So people don't think, this is a good one to stop on. We have our lovely assistant here, Elizabeth, who's going to...
Elizabeth?
That's right. Yeah. She's
Yeah,
going to
go
bring
ahead.
over a Rhode Island mug and postcard because
Well,
people
let me
think
see.
I'm just a
Bring,
guy
what do you
that
got
draws
for my?
posters.
Get one right here. What do we got for the mug here, Elizabeth?
This one? This
Yeah.
one is the New York system, Ponyville Lane.
That's the
Oh,
new
you got to
one.
hold it, stop and hold it so
Yep.
we can get a shot of
We
it.
have,
Yeah.
that's my buddy Greg Stevens and the Stevens family down in Oneyville. We just completed that one, and it's a hot one right now. You want to get down and get one of those.
Oh, wow, a good shot. Hold it right there. Look at that shot. Look at that shot, Frank. Huh? Is that nice or what? That's Corey on camera. All right.
Just to show what I do, I start with this as a master, and then
Right.
I go into other things, which we're going to...
Okay, and what do you got for another
Well,
one?
there should be a mug and a postcard there.
A mug and a postcard. Now, oh, Roger Williams, right, is on here.
Yeah, I found it.
Hey,
Roger
there's
Williams.
another one.
The CB.
The CB, something we should be very proud
Very
of. The
proud.
CB started in Rhode Island.
I know that the creator of that was from North Province, Mr.
No, I don't mean the creator of the art. I'm talking about the actual Seabees,
Oh,
which
okay.
the Seabees were part of the Navy. They were a construction battalion in the Navy. They carried guns and hammers. And the Seabees started Quonset huts. You know the term Quonset hut? Well,
Right,
actually,
right.
the Quonset huts were a Rhode Island creation, as was the Seabees.
created,
The group, the
but that bee
Seabees.
was created by Mr. Ifredi from North Providence.
Oh, really?
God rest him, yes.
All right, and what? Oh, of course, down in there again.
Now against the towers.
You got to get the towers.
gotta
And
get the
coffee
towers.
milk. I know the family with the coffee milk. They were autocrat and they owned.
She has the mug now.
You got the mug? Is that the coffee milk mug? What is that?
This is Rocky Point.
Rocky
Oh.
Point.
And the postcard?
Wow. Look at that shot. Turn it a little bit. There you go, right there. There you go, right there. 'Cause you can look over there. You can see it over there.
Rocky Point.
Now you did that. Now are those hand painted? Those things?
Well, they're taken off of these.
Oh, you take
I do it
them
all
off?
myself, yep.
Yep.
I transfer them into the setup I have, and we print them out on the mugs.
Now will they stay to washings and all that stuff?
They burn at 400 degrees. Everyone asks
Are you
that.
kidding?
They're microwave safe.
Well, now they don't have to
dishwasher
ask it
safe.
anymore.
No, they don't.
Frank.
400 degrees.
Now,
they burn it.
now they know for sure. They don't
It'll
have to
last a
ask
long
it again.
time.
That's
Very
the purpose of
durable.
being here. Now, what do you got? The New
That's a bit of
England
sports stuff we did.
Dynasties.
These are old favorites. Yep. New
Of
England
course.
Dynasty.
I did a afternoon with him,
Teddy Brucey.
Teddy Bruschi, with my son Zachary. We took pictures with him with all these people that paid to be with him in Seekonk. I'm sorry, not Seekonk, in Lincoln at Kirkbrae Country Club.
Oh wow.
Yep. And who
Yeah.
else? You got Belichick, of course. and
All the guys that won the Super Bowls.
Yeah. Yep.
And everyone's kind of missing them right now.
Seymour. Yeah. Huh?
Speaking of missing, we got the Red Sox here.
Oh, well, they're doing good so far. The
2007
2007 World Champion Red Sox. Oh, Francona. I shot 79 different people with Francona at photography.
Really?
I did a lot of photography back in the day. I
Oh,
did
when he
pictures.
came at our dinner, yeah.
No, they were at. He was in the
The Rhode Island,
Rhode Island, the
Italian American Sports
Hall of
Hall,
Fame,
yeah.
the Italian Hall of Fame, and Joe Rocco ran that. And
Buddy
they
Joe
hired me
Rocco.
as the photographer, and I did pictures. 79 pictures I took of him with 79 different people.
Yeah, he was pretty popular.
Yes,
He was.
Manny Ramirez. Whatever happened to him?
He's taking it easy down in Miami, having a little
Euclid is
margarita.
playing for the Yankees now.
Yes, he is. He shaved his
Yeah,
shaved his
he's
beard
playing for
off
the Yankees. Well, Ortiz hit a big home run the other night.
last night. I don't know when this
Was
is
it
gonna
last
air,
night? Yeah, over 200, over 400 feet.
Here, speaking of Rocky
We're back
Point.
to Rocky Point again. Now they're finally going to reutilize it.
Yeah, I was at the meeting. They had a
You
public
were?
meeting. It was fun.
Yeah,
They gave the people a chance to share their ideas.
and
Well, it's not, some of the things that you might have thought were far-fetched aren't. They're actually talking of putting a food facility back possibly.
Right, a shore dinner hall?
Yeah, that might be outsourced, you know, and even some amusements that again might be outsourced if
What was
that
your
were to
favorite
come.
ride over there? Do you remember? Did you have one? I like the flying fish.
Yeah, you mentioned that the last time. I'm
I
trying to
like
figure out the flying fish.
That flying fish used to go straight and then all of a sudden it would take a 90-degree scare. Huh? Do you remember that, Dan? That would scare the life out of you. You'd be
sure?
going,
Good stuff.
huh?
You sure it wasn't the wildcat?
No. It was a flying fish. It,
that's
it was
okay.
shaped like a fish. 2 people sat in it, right?
Yeah.
It's shaped like a fish. Looked like a
Oh, so
dolphin,
he's-
actually.
He's been there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
You asked me that the last time.
It
I
would go
wasn't sure.
straight, it'd go down a hill, and all of a sudden it looked like you were going to go right off, and it would take a 90 like that.
Well, that's what that kind of wildcat is. So I thought you were talking about that. No, but there's some really cool things that should be happening at Rocky Point in the upcoming years.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully.
Thank
Well,
you.
you know what? If they preserve that waterfront for everybody, that would be great.
And Mayor Averdesian's doing a great job.
Yes.
Really, and speaking of Mayor Averdesian, I think there's a Mayor Averdesian mug there I have for him.
You got a
I gotta give my
mug?
buddy
Let
a
me see
mug.
that.
With the Warwick mug.
Well, we got to get an hour with Bob mug is what we need. And actually, I was talking with my good friend Joe Filippi. I was with him in New York a couple of weeks ago, and we were at a convention for all these different things, pens, you know, make all these
Yeah.
promotional things. And we were talking about the mugs for my show, because I did it a long time ago. We got to do it again. All right, New Hampshire. How do we get New Hampshire?
Well, because I'm branching out, of course.
You are branching out.
Hampton Beach is coming up. Newport's coming up. Soon will be New York, Manhattan. But this is a New Hampshire piece.
And now, is that partly gone now? The
That's
old
gone.
man? It is. The fell off, a chunk of the.
He's gone, but he
the
lives
chin
on
fell
on
off.
Frank Galasso.
On Frank Galasso, he lives on. Now, what else you got? Don't pull that down. Where's Beach? Haven't been there in a
Oh,
long
that's
time.
cool, sure, because it's got the
Oh.
cog railway.
Have you been there?
I've never been to the racetrack.
NASCAR?
No.
I've been
no.
there. I've been there.
They say-
Unbelievable.
yeah, say-
Unbelievable. They'll get 80,000 people there, 100,000 people there. It's crazy. It's crazy. You can't hear yourself think. But that's a great state. New Hampshire's a beautiful
Granite
state.
state,
Great
that's
state.
right.
The Granite State. Okay, what else you got?
Oh, remember when, real quick.
Now, I like this. Remember when. You got 4 minutes left here. Remember
Okay.
when. Oh, look at the driving. My God, the Shipyard driving, the Pike driving, Lonsdale driving. You got the hamburgers, the original Burger Chef. I think that was the original burger place in Rhode Island, wasn't it? On Newport Avenue?
Well, that
I
was
think
from
it was.
Cranston, but
That's in Cranston, but I believe the one on Newport Avenue, I may be wrong. Rustic is still the only, it's the only drive-in in existence in Rhode Island now.
in the state, yep.
In the state of Rhode Island.
Because the Mendon is still operating up in
Oh,
Mass.
Mendon
Yeah.
is? Mendon
up
is
in
up
Mass,
there?
yeah.
GTO, my God, my favorite car. I had a
this-
64, 66, and a 68
This has
GTO.
run out a couple of times on a print, so it's pretty popular. I was
Wow.
the first guy to do a compilation on this particular theme.
Really?
Yep, to bring back the good
Did a
old
great
days.
job, though.
Thanks.
A&W Root Beer, we
think
still
we're-
have one of
we're
them,
out.
right? The one on 44, A&W Root Beer.
That is it, that's it.
Is it, huh?
Yeah.
That's the only one left in Rhode Island, I think. I'm sure of it. It's Hilltop Driving. There's a McDonald's. That was the old Arches, the old style.
That was in Greenwood, the first one, yep.
That was the first one. Charlie's.
Charlie's.
Charlie's. Charlie Nassif. Louis Nassif and I graduated from high school
Oh, you
together.
know him. Oh,
and,
great.
and I used to go there with him, eat for nothing. We'd go up there because his uncle owned that place. Charlie Nassif. Anyway, what else you got?
Well,
You got another?
the other thing, well, over here you
Let
show
me see
some
another.
of the...
Show us too quickly a couple more mugs.
well, I want to just show
Oh,
this.
you want to show us this? What is
Well, I
this?
want to show down the bottom here, these little characters I've created over the years. We're working on getting Rock and Roadie to be our state mascot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
think
cool.
we mentioned that last time.
That's right, and that would be cool. That's a perfect
Because
mascot.
we all know Iggy.
Yep.
He's become an icon now.
Right,
That was
and-
my
and then
baby.
Rocky Point.
Well, we just revived. This is a modern day version of the Rocky the Lobster.
Lobster, right.
But we're not calling him Rocky yet because the chamber is. We're gonna have a contest, a naming contest.
Name him. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and
Good
he's gonna
idea.
help
Who's this
promote-
guy? Who's this guy?
Oh, that's me.
All right, quickly. What else? We
Oh,
got?
this is the thing. Rhode Island Bruins. We've tried
Right.
for another Stanley Cup. We
Right.
have good old friends over at Wienerama.
Yep.
And these are just some of the other things I've done.
And who's this? What's this?
Well, that was for a national junior college. But here's Charlie Wilkes from the CCRI fame. Our friends over at the CCRI.
Right.
I do some of the things for them.
So how do people get a hold of you, Frank? They want to talk to you.
You just go to frankgalasso.com. It's the easiest way.
FrankGalasso.com.
My email's there. My phone number is on there. Frank Galasso at frankgalasso.com.
And now you're working on, you said you're working on East Greenwich.
Doing East Greenwich. I'm wrapping up Newport. And
All right, and we're wrapping up.
And go to the Greenwich Hotel and see these guys.
There we go. All right, we're gonna end the show with you guys, Dan. We're ready. And the Scat Man, huh? Frank. Thanks for
Bob.
stopping
That's
by.
a pleasure,
Great job.
Bob.
You're
Thank you.
amazing. You're a very
Thanks a
talented
lot.
individual. I'll tell you. And thank you for stopping by. Hang on.
Well, you can knock me down, step on my face, slander my name all over the place. Do all the things that people do. It's just one kind of favor I'll be asking you. When the chips are down and the odds are thin, my sons say I just can't win. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. You can knock me down, but don't count me out. Well, I wake up every morning, start my working day. No one ever told me it would be this way. I get so tired, I just wanna die. But my heart keeps saying, give it one more try. When the chips are down and the odds are thin, our signs say I just can't win. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. You can knock me down, but don't count me out. I don't know why we can't see eye to eye. One thing I do know, I'll be by your side. I'll be by your side. Guitar now. Yeah, when the chips are down and the odds are thin, our signs say I just can't win. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. You can knock me down, but don't count me out. Well, you just can't win if you were born to lose. I'm stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis blues. The weatherman says I ain't going nowhere. No one ever said that life was fair. And when the chips are down and the odds are thin, our signs say